Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the Indie Author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Kearsells of the Rising Dawn series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size.
Hello guys and welcome to another great episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors and indie creatives from all around the world. I'm one of your hosts, J.A. Bryden. With me always is our resident reader, Ryan. How are you, Ryan?
I'm good, living the dream, man. Been a good week. This week I finished The Garden Maze by Isaac Anderson. That was a whole lot of fun. Initially it started off really, upbeat fantasy, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I need after having my heart ripped out with J.L. Engels, Where the Children Don't Play. So I thought I'm going to read this. It was a short read, about 140 pages, and it gets pretty dark pretty quickly. So yeah, it's a really good book. It's about, there's I think only one character has a name in the book. They're just all described by profession. So it's about a scholar and a knight who are working for their viscount, which is kind of like a ruler. And there's this maze that every 100 years you can venture in and try and get a treasure. So the knight and his squire go through the maze to try and find a treasure. And yeah, a lot of messed up stuff happens to them. It's a very, very good read. A lot of illustrations in it at the beginning of each chapter. If you're familiar with Isaac Anderson, he does do a lot of cartoons, like drawings and stuff. But yeah, definitely worth a read. And now I'm reading someone who sent us the book to be reviewed. You can cut this bit out. I just want to get the name right because N.A. Betts. So yeah, Don't Let It Out by N.A. Betts. It is a horror book. I'm only 3 chapters in so far, but so far so good. So doing that, and we're really looking forward to checking out Mortal Kombat tomorrow. Mortal Kombat 2. I'm going to see it at the movies tomorrow, so that'll be pretty cool. I will talk quickly about a game that I've discovered. It's kind of been on my watch list. It's on PlayStation, in the PlayStation Plus Deluxe catalog. It's a game called Lies of P. It came out about a year ago. It's an action-adventure kind of dark story. And not once did it actually occur to me what the game is about. Now, I asked my wife the same thing. So when you hear the phrase Lies of P, so the letter P for Peter, what do you think? Like, what do you think it might be about?
Probably, well, my disturbed mind goes like someone's going to the bathroom.
No. I get you. So do you remember there was a famous children's character that nose got longer when he told a lie?
Oh, Pinocchio. Yeah.
So it's a kind of a dark spin on the whole. So basically, the world is kind of like a utopian society where puppets, essentially are in place of robots. So puppets do, they clean, they build things and everything, and then as things happen, they all go feral and murder pretty much an entire city. And you're a special kind of puppet designed by Geppetto, who has to go and try and save the world. And you've got all these evil, really messed up looking puppets that are coming for you. It's very dark. It's by all means, when you think Pinocchio, you think like happy. It's really not. It's very, very dark. It's a lot of blood and gore well, not really blood because they're puppets, but a lot of violence. But I'm really digging it. I think about 3.5 to 4 hours into it at the moment. So yeah, if you've got PS Plus membership, if you're in Australia, or if you've got the membership in America, it's called Lies of P. Very, very good game so far. If you're just looking for a hack slash with a bit of story and a bit of horror, check it out.
Nice. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, well, guys, we got a bit of news on the podcast. We have Martin Kearns has decided to step down as a sponsor temporarily. He said it's basically a pause while he's, shifting some finances around to get a website done. So please check him out anyway. He is such a great author, such a great friend of the show. He's been with us for a long time. So check out all of his fantastical books. Check out our other sponsor, Rebecca Kearsells, of the Rising Dawn series, which you hear on every single ad. Check out our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robel. The links are down below. We've also started doing reviews. Ryan mentioned that he just read The Garden Maze. Well, weeks ago, probably, when this episode was recorded, we shot up that review. So we're really starting to build a wonderful community of people that are supporting each other. So it's really cool. Check out our website. We've got a new website, thetrueandthefictional.com. I almost said @gmail.com. Now I'm going to have to remember to separate them. But guys, we're about to dive into an episode with one of the coolest pen names ever, Draco Amethystus. I can't even say it now. Amethystus. I can't. I've just lost all
Amethystus. So I think amethyst.
Amethystus. I got it right for the whole episode, and now I can't say it. Absolutely fun, great chat. He's from the States. He has his own, indie publishing LLC. It was a real fun chat. We talk a lot about dragons. How do you think it went, Ryan?
I think it went really well. I'm not going to lie. When I saw the sheet and I saw his name, I thought, okay, we might have some language difficulties here, and I thought it might have been, someone from a smaller country. But then he popped up, and I'm like, wow, hello. And it's definitely a pen name. It didn't even hit me that it might be a pen name. Yeah. But yeah, lovely guy. He runs his own publishing company called Shadow Dragon Publications. He's got a one book out at the moment. The first in a new series called The Purgatory Academy. Romantic author. So definitely check him out. Jamie will post all the links in the show notes.
Hello. Yep.
But yeah, he's a really nice guy. Have fun doing story chat, talking about comics, talking about his love of extreme sport kind of thing. He wants to swim with sharks. He's done hot air ballooning. And we talk about inspirational teachers as well. So a really good chat.
Yeah. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's go talk to Draco Amethystus. Draco Amethystus, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I'm really grateful.
Now, a lot of people will be wondering, is that your real name or a pen name?
That's a pen name. It's cooler than my real name, though, so I like going by it. But I wanted to make something that was, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to do something that was a little bit silly and that I would just enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I know most people like you go with something that's relatively easy.
Yeah.
You often have initials, and that sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to do something fun and silly and kind of nerdy. So here we are. Yeah.
Well, you won't walk past it, mate. You won't. It's like...
yeah.
So do you like dragons? Has that got something to do with
my gosh. Yeah, that was part of it too. I just love dragons. I mean, everything about them, and that's kind of my MO, right? With my writing and with my publishing company and everything, that's very much kind of the direction I go with all of that. Is I love dragons, and so that was part of the decision as well. I also wanted to redeem the name a little bit from Harry Potter, just be like, hey. You doesn't have to be this terrible character. So yeah, again, just all kind of silliness, but yeah. definitely love dragons. I could go on about that forever, but I'll be quiet. So yeah.
Cool. Well, before we get too crazy, the question we always start with is, who is Draco Amethystus?
Oh, man, yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I guess I'll start with the writing stuff, right? So I'm an author. I write fantasy fiction and sci-fi. I write a lot of romantasy specifically, and I hopefully we'll be able to talk about that a little bit more. I've been writing since I was a kid, since I was in elementary school, like that kind of that grade. I remember writing a lot of poetry and short stories and stuff, and doing relatively well with those sort of things in school, and just always really kind of loved it, and it's always really stuck with me. And long story short, at some point, I finally had the courage to start sharing that in a public sort of way. And so beyond that, then I've also started my own little LLC, little indie publishing company called Storm Dragon Publishing, and I've kept it small intentionally because it's difficult to grow with the financial part of it, as
Yeah.
anyone will know who has. So I have an LLC, and so I just call it SDP for short, Storm Dragon Publishing. But I only publish one mythology anthology every year with different poets and short stories who are kind of getting started for the most part. I try to convince authors who have been a little more involved or a little more successful, a little farther down the pipeline involved, and I've had some success with that too, to kind of help these other authors along. So yeah, again, that's kind of the short version of kind of what I'm doing. So yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, like I think it's almost smart doing like a small indie just for your own sanity, you know? Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah. There's always more that you could do, but so
mm,
I just do the one anthology every
yeah.
year. And then, actually, well, I guess I'm lying a little bit. This year, I technically have two volumes I might
Mm,
potentially have. I'm in the midst of working on the third one this year. So this is the third year of the LLC of SDP, and
yeah.
I'll have the third volume coming out with a possible additional fourth at the end of the year. So I kind of still split them up. Also, as I go, the longer I'm doing it, the more experience I have with it, the quicker the process goes too, and I kind of have it down a little bit better. So yeah.
Cool.
So with those anthologies, do you pick a certain subject and just go, okay, authors, this is what we want to write about this time? And if you do, how do you
Yeah.
go about working out what that subject's going to be?
Yeah, no, appreciate the question. Yeah, so it's called the Muses of Mythology Anthology. Again, just kind of nerdy, kind of
Mm,
kind of nerdy stuff, and I just call it MoMA for short. But every year it's a different mythological creature. So me being me, the first year it was dragons, so it
yeah.
was called Dragon Dreams. And it was actually headlined by a relatively well-known author by the name of Maria Grace,
Oh, wow.
who very graciously, she's known for her Gaslamp romance novels,
Mm,
but she has this series called Jane Austen's Dragons, and it's exactly what it sounds like, right? And she wrote an original short story for the volume set in that same world, and I was so grateful for that. And it gave the volume a little more traction. So then last year it was Vampire Visions, and then this year it's actually Fae Fables. So every
mm,
year it's a different kind of mythological creature,
mm.
and then I welcome anyone publishing either poetry or short stories. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Have you seen, this is because it just came to my mind when you said Jane Austen's Dragons. There's a comic book called Arrowsmith, and it is basically World War II with dragons.
No, I have not. Who's that from?
I
I think
can't.
it's Image Comics, I believe.
It's Image.
I would
Okay.
look it up, but my internet's
Yeah.
rubbish. So if I touch my phone, it's going to cut out.
I'll
But
look it up. I'll look it up.
but I believe it's done by Image Comics. I put it on my pull list, I think, early last year, after Jamie mentioned it. It's very, very good. It's
Mm.
exactly what
Very
it
cool.
sounds like.
Okay. I
Yeah,
will have to check that out.
it's Image Comics.
Image Comics. Okay. I appreciate that. I'm always looking for.
I think it's only been around for a few years, maybe 5.
No, no longer, because I found out about it in The Big Bang Theory. I went like, that can't be a comic book. Oh my gosh, it's a comic book.
There you go.
Wait, that was mentioned in The Big Bang Theory, the show?
That's how I found it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Because I believe it was a new character working at the comic book shop, and Sheldon did not like that. Like, it's like, like, you can't recommend me something
Right.
like that. He's being like that, and she's like, "Have you heard about this book?" And he's like, "What is this?" This is as awesome as it sounds. I might bring it up.
That's awesome.
Aerosmith.
Okay. Aerosmith. Okay.
It's like there's 3 volumes.
I'll have to check that out. Very
Look,
cool.
look at-
So that World War II.
Yeah. It's like, so
Okay.
everything World War II, but they've just put dragons in it.
Okay. Have you guys heard of the Temeraire series from Naomi Novik?
Sounds
I can't say I
familiar.
have off the top of my head.
It is, so that series, it reminds me of that. It is a fantasy series. It's one of my favorites with dragons in it, with dragon riders specifically. And it's set during the Napoleonic War in an alternative history where there are dragons. And so, it's and she does such a great job, I think, getting the feel of the language from the world at that time period. So super, super cool. Really, I highly recommend that series. Temeraire from Naomi Novik. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get these ass breakers started, but I'm gonna add one at the start, like, because there's only one correct answer to this in my opinion. But who does the best dragon voice, like in cinema or shows or whatever, like, when they have a talking dragon? Who's your favorite?
Oh my goodness, there's only one correct answer. That's
For
not
me,
fair.
for me.
For you, there's only one.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know where to begin with that. So
I've
okay,
broken the guess, Ryan. I've broken our guess.
No, yeah, no. Okay, man. All right, I'm just gonna go with my honest answer here, but it's not gonna exactly answer that because they don't really talk. My favorite cinematic dragon by far is Toothless from the How to Train Your Dragon movies.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't really talk, but I love all of the noises and sounds that he makes, and they do such a great job making him kind of feline. I feel like, which I've always felt was the direction to go with your dragons when you have them. That's kind of the feel they have to them. You definitely get that, like in Christopher Paolini's Inheritance series. The dragons are very kind of feline. So for me, that's got to be the answer, but. I'm really scared / excited to hear what the correct answer is then. So Jimmy, what's the correct answer here?
Well, the movie didn't age well, I will say that. And I just want I want them to go back and just reanimate the dragon, and it would be perfection. And that's Dragonheart, Sean Connery.
Dragon. I figured you were going to say that. He does do a fantastic job, and you're right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like a lot of early CGI has aged very well in a lot of ways.
Jurassic Park still holds up. But
agreed. The original, at least.
Yeah, the original. That's why it was so well done, because I always find that when it's shadowy and it's darker, you can get away with more with CGI. Like, because there's less you have to,
Yeah.
show.
And Draco's out and about so much.
Yeah.
Like you see him straight on. It's hard to not cringe a little bit looking back. Yeah.
Just
that's
because
fair.
the script and everything was phenomenal, the story was phenomenal, but it was just like that looks really, not up to standards.
Right. At the time, though, I think we all thought it was amazing.
Oh no, 100%, I did, and I think like years ago, Ryan will remember this. I said, "Oh, we'll go back and because we watched all the Scorpion King movies because they're all horrible." And
bad.
We binged them, and but some got really good and really bad, but it was only by comparison because we kept watching them in a row. But then we sat down and then we went, "Well, now we're gonna do it with Dragonheart," and then Ryan's like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch this." Yeah.
Yeah, I think I bought a DVD box set which had I think 3 or 4 of them.
3 or 4, yeah.
And we watched the first one and we're like, okay, all right, and then put the second one on and it's like, nah, it's not happening. It's just not at all. So
it did not age well.
No.
Oh,
All right.
that was sad.
I stole the first question, Ryan. Do you want to go kick off the real icebreakers?
Yeah, sure. No problems at all. All right. Okay. So, first icebreaker question is, who is your favorite dynamic duo? For example, Batman and Robin, Timon and Pumbaa, Rick and Morty. Who's your favorite dynamic duo?
Yeah, I do have I have quite a few. But if push comes to shove, I'd probably have to say Sherlock Holmes and John Watson. Um,
Classic.
yeah, sci-fi and fantasy come first for me, but mystery is not a far third. And when you blend them, even better. I'm also a firm believer that mystery is a key component to any good novel, but that's a hot take. We don't have to go into that.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah, Sherlock and John Watson, and I can't, man, there's so many great pastiches out there, versions of it. I'm always excited about a new one to see how well they did it, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Sherlock fan. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't
Yeah,
think Watson gets his due.
I've been putting off watching the new Young Sherlock. Once I found out it was by Guy Ritchie, I'm a massive Guy Ritchie fan. I thought, wow,
Hmm.
this is probably. I
Hmm.
wasn't on my watch list, but I thought, okay, I'll watch pretty much anything Guy Ritchie. So
Hmm.
I'm keen to give that a go. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've watched it a couple of times now. I love it. And he did the Sherlock Holmes movies a few years back
mm,
with Robert
Oh,
Downey
did he? I did
Jr.
the Robert
that's
Downey
right.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did those too. Yeah. So, and I'm a big fan of his as well. He does some great stuff. He has another
Oh
show
yeah,
that I feel like has kind of a Sherlockian feel to it called The Gentleman. If you haven't watched
Mm.
that, I'd also recommend that one. Yeah. But Young
yeah.
Sherlock, it's good. I'd watch it. Yeah.
All right, well, I will now because
Okay, well,
I was like, another Sherlock, and then now that realize it's Guy Ritchie, I'm like, well,
Hmm.
top of the list.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
All
yeah.
right.
I came in kind of late to Guy Ritchie, um, and then just got to go. Like I watched Snatch and Train Spotting. Is that one of his? I watched those when I was younger, but then when what's that Henry Cavill one? The Ministry of.
Of yeah, ungentlemanly warfare.
That's right. Yeah, when
Yeah.
that came out, I watched that, and then I pretty much seen everything else he's done. So I'll definitely give it a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has that classic of starting the movie with like this is what's going to happen, and then rewind. You're just like, and
Uh-huh.
now you have to sit through everything getting to that point. You know, it's a clever storytelling trope.
Yeah.
It's like, how
He's
did
a
we get
brilliant
here?
storyteller. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He always has these really unique characters too. I
yeah,
think his character building is I mean Snatch is a great example of
yeah,
that. There are so many kind of bizarre but wonderful characters in that movie. Brad Pitt's the
yeah,
Irish gypsy character.
yeah,
Oh man, I love that. I loved
yeah,
him. That was fantastic. Yeah.
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 Cool.
And he did it very accurate too, because half the time you couldn't understand what he was saying, and that's how much.
Yeah,
So yeah, very
yeah,
good.
cool.
Uh-huh.
All right, what's something on your bucket list?
Oh man, I have a long bucket list, but one thing that pops to the top of my head is I love being in the water. So I swim, free dive, kayak, scuba dive. One thing I'm saving my pennies for is a shark diving. I've been shark diving, but specifically great whites. So that's definitely something I want to do before I'm dead, and hopefully not at that point from that particular thing. But that's something I definitely want to do sooner rather than later. I just love being in the water. I
Mm.
love the water-based nature too. Sharks are just really cool. So, great white shark diving is something on my bucket list. Yeah.
Which is interesting because you love
Awesome.
dragons so much, and yet you want to go where they can't fly.
See, but you got to remember sea dragons though, because that
Yeah,
for me, I'm like those. There's also those, so I'm okay
yeah.
with that.
And we have these things in Australia called water dragons. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
less about going in the water than just they're near the water. You know?
Well, you got plenty of great whites there too, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my favorite
Yeah.
sea pandas, as I like to call them, the killer whales.
Killer
Mhm.
whales.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh man.
I
Yeah.
used to love it where my dad used to live. Every single like it's a small one road in, one road out town, right on the ocean. And we with the Facebook group you could join, and every single summer, pretty much every couple of days, oh, there's a great white spotted at this beach here, and great white spotted here. Like they would just, you had to be very, very careful when you wanted to swim up there because they would get really, really, really close.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're quite common out here.
Right, right. There's still a video floating around out from years ago of a guy who went cliff diving in a harbor, and I think it was Sydney, if I remember correctly. And he ends up in the water. He's got a camera on his head, and he as soon as he goes down, there's a great white that swims right by. And he's like freaking out, making a beeline for the shore as quickly as he can. And everyone's like, "Man, Australia, that's crazy." It was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they literally come right in. Like we've got a place in the centre of Sydney called Darling Harbour, which is just populated with posh restaurants and all the Sydney
The
Opera
Opera
House is
House.
around there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the Opera House and stuff. And it's not uncommon for great whites to just swim into the harbour, just to people watch.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So,
Like that
all
classic
right.
like that classic video game. Well, it's not that classic. I think it's maybe 5 years old, called Man Eater, where you play a shark. You just
Good. I
you just
like.
swim around and just eat people and level up, and it's so ridiculous. Anyway, right.
All right, question number 3. Jamie's going to bring up a little visual aid for this question.
Ta-da.
Something that you're probably very familiar with, being from the United States. This is the famous monument, Mount Rushmore. So, given that it does have 4 iconic presidents from the US history, what would be on your Mount Rushmore of television show? Can be any genre, any era. Just in your opinion, what are the 4 greatest TV shows?
Okay. All right. Oh, again, that's a tough one. All right. Well, I'm gonna stick with Sherlock here, and go with that's probably my favorite show of all time is the BBC's Sherlock
Yeah,
with
the Benedict
Benedict
Cumberbatch. Yeah.
Cumberbatch. Yeah, and Martin Freeman. Man, that rendition of it is just fabulous. I really, really love that one. So that would be one. That would be George for me. That would be George for me. Um, this might be a little bit of a hot take given how people feel about the ending, but I still love Game of Thrones.
We get it a
I'm
lot.
a game. Yeah, I love Game of Thrones. Now, I do make the argument that those are not dragons, they're wyverns because they only have 2 legs, but I'm just being snooty when I say
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I'm like,
actually,
come on. Yeah, I know. I'm like, come on, George, what are you doing, man? Put those front legs on there.
Well, he didn't know what a horse was, so that was, there's that.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. So I did not have an issue with the end of the show. I did not have that. So I feel like if you go back, and I may make people really angry with this, but I feel if you go back, you study the history of that particular family, you look at her own history and given what she's been through, I don't think it's necessarily unbelievable what happens at the end. So so Game of Thrones, that would be on there too. Okay. The Boys. Are you guys familiar with that one?
Yeah.
Yep, 100 million
Yeah.
percent. Yeah.
That hasn't quite finished yet, obviously. 2 more episodes to go in the final season. I really appreciate how they're ending on their own terms. I firmly believe more shows should do that. I think part of good storytelling is knowing when to let go of the story. You don't just keep going because you get more money. You gotta let go with grace, and you gotta be okay with that, And so the fact that they're doing that, I love that. You could do spin-offs.
I will warn you though, it's Eric Kripke. Eric Kripke wrapped up Supernatural at season 5.
He did.
then
That's fair.
Get ready for 10
another
more seasons of The Boys.
Really. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I hope he's gonna keep to his word. I'm hoping he
Yeah.
keeps to his word. Yeah. I think maybe he just learned his lesson from Supernatural. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
It
not
made him
sure
a
I
lot of
ever
money.
got past it. Yeah, I understand why people do it. I just,
Yeah.
but the boys, I really love the boys. I think it's probably more realistic of what that situation would look like if it actually happened in real
Yeah.
life. If we had a
Yeah.
Superman sort of character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, let's see here. And then I would probably say Reacher. Are you familiar
Yep.
with that?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. All
Love
right.
me, love
So
me. Some non
yeah.
Tom Cruise Reacher.
Okay. So again, maybe a little bit of a hot take, but
No.
I really enjoyed his
Yeah.
his
No, like
movies.
I liked them for what they were. I didn't know anything about Reacher when I watched them. They're just good, fun action
Uh-huh.
flicks. And then you
Yeah.
realize
Yeah.
that Reacher's supposed to look like Alan Richardson. You
Right.
know?
Right. Yeah. And I know the purists who read the novels first are going to feel that way, and I totally get
Yeah.
it since he's like, what is he, like 5'7"? I think he's not a real
Yeah.
big guy, right?
Yeah.
And Alan Richardson, like he is Reacher. He
Yeah.
is Reacher. Yeah. And there's just something gratifying about watching him do his work. It's just,
I just love that. I think season two, the start of season two, where he's at the
hmm
ATM, you know,
hmm hmm
and he just,
hmm
yeah, I won't say too much, but you know what I'm talking about. Like
Yep.
how
Yep.
incredible that was, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what I'd say my top four are as of right now. Yeah.
Solid. Solid.
All right.
Awesome.
I'm happy with all of that. Especially Reacher. When's the next season coming?
Reacher.
Um,
They're working on it.
I'm like, hurry
I
up.
know. I think they filmed it. I'm assuming they're in post production at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we haven't heard if he's gotten a concussion again, so we'll be.
Well, did you hear what happened to him in real life with his neighbor?
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh man, I don't know what that guy was thinking. He looked like a relatively big dude as well.
Yeah.
But also, have you not watched his show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like probably not. I think there was
A lot.
there was a great Babylon Bee article that came out right around that time that said, oh, like now that this guy's tried to take out Reacher, I'm paraphrasing, is like he neighbor now plans to shoot John Wick's dog. It's just like, what are you doing, man?
Oh, that's not going to end well either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that Alan was there with his kids kind of made it a little bit easier on the guy that tried to pick a fight with him, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Because,
Oh man.
yeah.
Craziness. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
speaking of craziness, Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where or when are you going?
Okay. So I remember watching another one of your episodes, and one of the guys that you had on there, he was like, "Well, assuming I'm not going back to stop something horrible from happening, is that what we're?" I think he said like, "I'm not going back to convince a certain German gentleman not to do bad things." Which I was like, okay, yeah, no, I see that. Assuming we're not going back to do something like that, and it's just kind of like for fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's still tough. I think I would go pre-human. I'd want to go Jurassic Park on that thing. I'd
Yeah.
want to see dinosaurs. I'd want to. I mean, I'm already talking about like scuba diving with great whites. I'm like,
Mm.
let me see the T-Rex. Let me see a T-Rex. I'd love to see the Triceratops. You know, like
Yeah.
just assuming I can survive in the environment in the Cretaceous period somehow. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be awesome.
Let's just
Yeah.
say it is movie 2, Back to the Future, so you can fly. You can just hover, fly over the dinosaurs.
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
Safe distance.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's common.
Okay.
It's common. I'd love to. I don't know. I can't understand why Jurassic World hasn't turned into Dino Riders. Like,
That's fair.
why
Yeah.
aren't we riding these things into battle? You know, just
Yeah. Well, they almost go that direction when you get to Chris Pratt's character, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
because they're
And
training them for
that
the
first,
military.
Yeah, in that first Jurassic World, and then
Yeah.
they sort of pivot away from it. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Jurassic Park.
All right.
Okay.
Question number 5. This one, I believe we have inherited from another show.
Rest
I'm
in
not too
peace.
familiar. Yeah, there you go. Jamie's more familiar with
Yeah,
the show.
it was a show called Mirthquake. They interviewed authors and stuff like that, and they had a question that they did every single time. Um, and yeah, we're carrying it on because Mirthquake is no longer a thing.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay,
All right. I'm
so
ready, Ryan.
the question is simply hot air balloon or janky sub. So basically, would you rather fly in a homemade hot air balloon way up in the sky or
Uh-huh.
in a homemade submarine way down below in the ocean depths? So pretty much, how do you want to die?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, so I've been hot air ballooning, and hot
Yeah,
air ballooning is super, super cool. Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, I'm not sure they ever get super technical, right? Like hot air balloons
Yeah,
there's not a lot to them comparatively speaking. So I'm gonna go with the submarine on this one. I'm gonna go with the submarine on this one. Yeah.
that's
Uh,
two. That's two for Janky Sub.
what's the total
I,
so far? What's the total?
We've got 3 responses so far.
Okay, okay. So 2 and 1.
Yeah, so one hot air balloon, and that's only because he's like he's got like air training, pretty much like airplane training and stuff. Like he's mechanical, and he's like, I could probably figure out how to fly this thing safely. You know, so I'm like, fair enough.
All right. Okay. Awesome.
I personally would go hot air balloon. Sorry, I'd personally go submarine because I'd much rather die quickly with if something's going to go wrong in the submarine, it's the implosion. That's just going to bang. But if you're in a hot air balloon, you're falling. So even though it's probably like another 30 seconds, just the impending death would be more terrifying than anything.
You're watching it come right at you quickly.
Yeah, I'd probably be fetal on that hot air balloon.
Yeah.
I'd just be lying on the basket going like, don't look out the window.
It's so when you do land on those, it's pretty tough to land upright, and
Yeah.
you don't always end up landing where you want to either.
Yeah.
One time I was doing it, and we ended up in a couple of fields farther than we wanted to because the wind picked up quite a bit, and we landed sideways. We ended up kind of crashing a little bit, so
Yeah.
it's not easy to land with those things. Yeah.
We have a military base like 20 minutes from my house, and they often see hot air balloons just awkwardly skimming the edge of the base, like not intentionally, but like just like you're getting a little closer, guys.
You could get shot down.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well,
Oh.
they'll set loose the fighter jets. Yeah. Please leave the aerial space. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
There you go. Icebreakers are done.
Okay. All right. I'm scared about that first one with the dragon voice, though.
Yeah, I was off the cuff. I mean, with a name like Draco, my mind is going to wander everywhere.
That's fair.
It just is.
That's fair.
So let's get down to business. What is your author origin story? How did it start?
Oh yeah. So I think I talked about it a little bit already, but I grew up writing. And the story that I kind of share on my website was when I was in 6th grade. My English teacher had us write an alternate ending to the story "Flowers for Algernon." I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one at all. It's a relatively, yeah. It's not like sci-fi or fantasy in the strictest sense. It's a little more literary fiction, but it's still sci-fi as well. And it's a pretty short story. "Flowers for Algernon." It's a pretty famous piece, but we were supposed to write an alternate ending for it. And so I wrote an alternate ending to it. And I think this was the first time I really felt like I might be good at writing to some degree, at least anyway. As opposed to just knowing that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because the day my teacher gave them back, the top of my paper, it said it had 100% and then circled. I'm like, okay, cool. And then underneath it in red was "See me after class," and I was like,
Oh my.
"Uh huh." Yeah, so I got a little nervous. I'm like, what? Okay. So like everyone's leaving. I'm kind of awkwardly hovering around afterwards. And my teacher, who was really nice about it, he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I just want to talk to you about this a little bit." I was like, "Okay, sure, whatever." And he goes, "I'm not going to be mad. I just want you to tell me the truth." I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Did you have someone else write this for you?" And at first, I didn't
Like,
understand what he was saying. I didn't get it at first. I'm like, wait, why would I do that? I was completely confused.
mm.
And then I got it. I'm like, no. He's like, you're not lying. I'm like, no, I wrote it. I swear, I promise. And he's like, all right, well, he's like, this is really good. This is really good. And it was empowering. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like it was one of those like, this is what good teaching looks like. This is how it can leave a good mark in your life, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me, and it gave me courage. Now, it was still years later. Like I continued to write off and on. I didn't try to publish anything. I wrote across genres, and then COVID happened,
Mm.
and I was home for work a lot, and I started writing poetry. I'd always loved poetry as almost as much as I loved writing fiction, but not quite. So that felt safer and less scary to me. And so that was the
Mhm.
first time I really started on social media. I started a Instagram account, started sharing my poetry on there, and it surprisingly ended up kind of blowing up and doing relatively well. And it gave me confidence to start writing in the genre I really wanted to. So it sort of blossomed from there. It sort of blossomed from there. To the point then that I finally got to courage. Like I started submitting things. There were some poetry pieces I got published, both indie traditionally, a couple of short stories here and there. Again, both sort of indie traditionally. And then I was like, all right, I want to really do what I really want to do, which is write a novel. And so I wrote a draft of a novel, and I knew it wasn't good enough. I knew it wasn't good enough to get it published traditionally, but I wanted to keep going, and so I had this weird idea at the time because I still didn't completely believe in myself. I was like, I'm gonna start with a different one and kind of go from there because the story I had written first, I think I loved it too much and I was
Mm.
too afraid of screwing it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's right because I don't think that you should do that, but that's definitely how I felt about it. And if I'm being honest, I still feel a little bit about that way about that particular story. And so I started on another one. I finished a draft of that, and then I thought I still need to know more. I'm still not quite there yet, and so I submitted it for consideration for an MFA in creative writing. It was accepted, and then I started an MFA. And I did along the way. I also did a graduate certificate that basically taught me all about publishing. And so throughout that process, I finished that novel. I started Storm Dragon Publishing, my LLC, and started publishing others as well. And so that's the short version of it. I guess that's my origin story. So there you go. Yeah, sort of short,
Awesome.
I guess.
Great, yeah, great start to it. I just love it when you have a teacher that's supportive.
Hmm.
I had one, one, um, and I think she passed away 10 years ago, which was sad, because she was like the only good teacher I had, you know.
But did she help you with your writing or something else in
No, well, writing
particular?
came to me. Look, I've always been creative, so my writing came COVID, pretty much COVID. Um,
Okay. Okay.
that's what kind of led me, free time and other things. But back then, I was into cartooning. I was music. I was trying to find out what I wanted to do, and I still don't know what I want to do. It's more so I find something that I like doing, something that I'm good at, and I just do it. You know,
Mhm.
that's my kind of concept. But she was just, she wanted to. This will sound weird. She wanted to get me tested. Like there was a test you could do to see if you were a gifted child back then.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she was convinced that I was a gifted child. And then my parents couldn't afford to do the test, and the school wouldn't pay for it. So I might or might not be gifted.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, she was pushing for it. So um,
Okay. But I mean, look at all the cool things you're doing. I
mm,
mean, your writing, your podcast. I mean,
yeah,
so many things, right? Like, and I'm not going to say that bad stories don't stick with us from from teachers that we
yeah,
didn't get along with, right?
yeah,
But that's still clearly, I mean, look at all the things you guys are doing. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So it was still empowering. So
yeah,
sometimes maybe it only takes that one,
yeah. Well,
you
that's it.
know?
It only takes one. That's literally that's what I take away from it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
not everyone can love me. Jeez. Um,
You guys seem pretty lovable to me.
Oh, when this camera goes off, and me and Ryan are just like angry. No, we're not. I was going to make a Don Burke joke, but I have to explain that. No, there's this guy called Don Burke. He was on Australian television for ages. He was like gardening, a gardening show, and he'd be like all friendly, like, "Hello guys, we're gonna learn how to grow this plant," and then the camera's off, and he's like, like literally, just not who he was on camera.
Okay. He had that certain persona and
Yeah,
then it was gone. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I know. You guys are gonna get off it and be like, oh man, I can't believe that was his answer for the dragon voice
Yeah, he's
question.
never coming
Jeez.
back.
Screwed it up from the get-go. I am so sorry.
I'm gonna go 2-star his books.
Oh, there we go. I've heard worse reasons for people doing that, but
No,
okay.
no, I could never do it.
Oh man.
Ryan is a 5-star reviewer. He'll 5-star everything that he enjoys, and that's cool. It's good to have those. Um,
Hmm.
Me, I'm more I, I, 4 and 5. I don't if I don't like the book, I won't review it. That's how I'll do it because I don't want to be mean. It's just like
Yeah.
That's the same with me too. But we've had a few different people on who have said, look, I'm giving something 5-star if it is the best thing I've ever
yeah,
read. And I don't believe in reviewing that way. I believe in if I read the book and I really enjoyed it and I had a fun experience with it, I'm going to give it 5 stars
yeah,
because that's how I go,
yeah,
how I go. But I'm the same as Jamie. There was a book that I started recently that I really didn't like. It wasn't my cup of tea at all. And I didn't finish it and I didn't review it because I don't like being mean.
yeah,
But in that way, it's not me being mean. It's not my cup of tea. So
Yeah.
I'd much rather leave the reviews to someone who likes that
yeah,
particular kind of story and wants to review it honestly, because if I was going to review it, I would say it's not my thing,
yeah,
and that's really not a helpful review anyway. So but yeah, I have no issue giving everything I enjoy 5 stars.
yeah,
I'm the same when I review TV shows, movies, everything, because if I enjoy it and it makes me happy and it gives me a small bit of
yeah,
happiness, then I'm
Hmm.
want other people to read it.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know that I don't really do since I author so much, like I don't do a lot of reviewing.
mm,
Um, and the whole world of reviewing is such a, oh man, that's like a podcast in and of itself.
yeah,
So I'm not gonna go down that road, but because there's so much to be said about that.
yeah,
The only thing I'll say is I'm grateful for the reviews that I do get
yeah,
that are good, because some of them, like, they really do take a lot of time to share what they really enjoyed about it,
yeah,
and that's also encouraging, to even if it's like one person, like,
yeah,
who enjoyed something that you worked on for years,
yeah,
this piece of art that you put so much time and effort and blood and tears
yeah,
maybe literally sometimes, into it. that's a cool feeling. I think that's a cool
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. No, to this date, my best review was someone said this is a kind of book I would want to hand down to my children, kind of, or to the next
Oh,
generation. I'm going like, oh, it's just
yeah,
like someone said that. Jeez, you know.
yeah. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Very cool. Yeah.
Anyway, enough about us. You've got a book. I'm on your website. You've got a book coming out.
I have a book coming out. Yeah. So it's the second book. Actually, I have the first one here. Can I show you real quick?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's see if
Mhm.
I can get it on the camera here. Okay.
Oh
So here's
yes.
here's the first one. So this was my debut novel. This was from last year. So it's called the Purgatory Academy series. The first one is called Class of 666. And the second book, Order of the Black Rose, will be out later this year. In fact, I just finished I just finished a draft of it today. I'm really close. I'm really close. So the first one came out October 1st of last year. I don't know for certain at this point, but I may have this one out earlier this year. So yeah, yeah. So that will be my second book in the series, in the Purgatory Academy series. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Bring up the picture so we can put it under scrutiny.
There you go.
um,
Yeah.
how did you go about it? I really do love. Look, I'm a fan of silhouettes and like not being overly complicated. A lot of fantasy stuff is just like it's
Yeah.
either a symbol or it's a everything is happening all at once.
Right. Yeah. So having Storm Dragon Publishing, have my own LLC, it also meant I taught myself all the things. So I mean, I've learned editing, I've learned
Yeah.
formatting, I've learned covers, I've learned, I mean, everything about Amazon and Ingram Spark,
Mm.
like all of that kind of stuff. And I've worked with, now I did this cover myself, but I've worked also with Demonza. They're out of New Zealand, if you're
Hmm.
familiar with them. And yeah, covers they're a tricky thing, but for me, I wanted to go more simplistic, basically, and still kind of have the vibe of the series, which is Purgatory Academy is a dark. Okay, so it's romantasy, but it's also like dark academy, and it's about this young woman, Lily, who is, against her will, brought into basically a one-year university for the children and legacies of angels and demons. And they are forced to undergo these trials called tribulations with a capital T, and they're basically live or die.
Mm.
And the gist of it is, if you survive, you graduate, and if you
Yeah.
don't, well, you don't. Um, so that's a big part of the story there. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So, where did the idea come from? Do you remember one day just going, "Wow, that's a good idea for a story"?
Yeah, I don't actually remember that one. I have quite a few novels that I have to some degree or
Yeah.
another that I'm working on, and I honestly can't remember where I came up with that one, but I knew right away who the main character was, what her background
Yeah.
was, and where I wanted her to go. And I also, like, I really love mythology, and for this one I really wanted to delve into biblical mythology.
Cool.
And that was something that was important to me with this one, to kind of play around with that. And so, like, so the academy is actually in purgatory, like
Yeah.
that realm, that plane of existence.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah.
So I'm assuming you read a lot of Enoch, the Book of Enoch.
I
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, I have, yeah. Not to get into it too much, but
Yeah.
my kind of academic background is
Yeah.
very much in sort of the ancient Mediterranean world,
Yeah.
broadly speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So, yep,
it's very
yep.
fascinating. It really is. Like, just I thought, look, whatever people believe on the Bible or not, it's still stuff written 4,000 years ago, and you're like, this is
Mhm.
incredible literature.
Hmm.
It really is, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, just the idea of any book, um, and the concept of canon
Yeah,
and it's sticking with us and its influence over us over that amount of time.
yeah,
Anything, whether it's the Bible or it's Pride and Prejudice,
yeah,
or whatever it is,
yeah,
something that's just lasting like that.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
even I read War of the Worlds for the first time probably 2 years ago, and that's like
Mm-hmm.
125, 30, 130, 20, I think it's 125-ish years old. You go 100, and
Mm-hmm.
you read it and you go, that is ahead of its time. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. H.G. Wells was smart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
loopy too, I heard. But like most creative people are, let's face it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. He had some unique ideas. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so you write mainly romantasy. Is that correct? Would I be correct to say that? That's your
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
your
see, that's
shtick?
my, yeah. I mean, so two things. It's going to have dragons in one way or another. And at least as with this first series, it's definitely romantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a scary decision to do that because, um, it's very much a genre dominated by women,
Yeah.
understandably so. But I love reading it and I love writing it. I
Yeah.
love both. A couple of my favorite authors are Sarah Maas. I absolutely love her stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with her stuff at all, but like A Court of Thorns and Roses,
Mm.
Throne of Glass, Crescent City, like I love all of
Yeah.
those. She is an amazing writer, just an amazing writer. Rebecca Yarros, obviously, Dragons and Romantasy, the Empyrean series. I absolutely love that. But I also want to be able to carve out a niche there
Yeah.
for just to kind of show people, hey, romantasy is for everybody, whether we're reading it or we're writing it.
Yeah.
Um, and I would not say there's a lot of examples of that in traditional publishing, but I
Yeah.
do think that there are more and more indie authors who are doing that, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so
Definitely.
was reading her books or those books that you mentioned, was that kind of an inspiration for you to get into romantasy, or were you already kind of into it before?
I would say that I mean, I think you can make the argument. I don't think you can make the argument that Sarah Maas created the genre, but I
Yeah.
think she made the genre as popular as it is today,
Yeah.
or at least to a great degree. And so for me, I wouldn't um I don't know that I would have even considered it as its own thing until I started reading her stuff, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Cool.
So, but having read it and having loved it as much as I have, I saw it and I thought, I'm never okay. I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do it that well,
You're
but I wanted to give it a go. I wanted to try it. I
like,
wanted to try it.
I'm gonna be the male Sarah Mass. Damn it.
Man, I would be pleased as punch if I were able to accomplish that. I would feel like I really accomplished something with my life if I did that. I'm telling you.
Would
Yeah.
you should hide behind a lady pen name.
Uh-huh.
That's one of Hugh Jackman's first movies, um,
Uh-huh.
called The Paperback Hero, and he would play the very very Australian truck driver who wrote romance novels, and and then it got picked up by a publisher or something, and then he gets his female friend to be like, "You have to say you wrote this." They're not going to take me seriously because I'm a truck driver.
Yeah. 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 It's too
Mm.
late now with my name, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's
I
fine. It's fine. Yeah.
yeah. I do think I do think it's important to be able to have those discussions and
Yeah.
say, hey, I think there's space for us. But I
Yeah.
also think
Yeah.
we need, so as men, I think we also need to approach that from a point of view of I'm here to learn and listen
Yeah.
as much as to be heard and understood, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is super, super important for that to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you should be. I've always advocated you should be able to write what you want to write, um,
Mhm.
and your audience will find you.
Agreed. Yeah.
So what are you working on at the moment? Is there any
S-
any more things?
yeah. Okay. So Order of the Black Rose
Yep.
is the second book in the Purgatory Academy
Mhm.
series. So I'm actively working on that. That'll be out this year.
Mhm.
I think I mentioned before. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No,
Okay.
Ryan. I think Ryan just coughed.
Okay. I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry, Ryan.
No, all good, all good.
Okay. And then the third volume of the SDP series, Fae Fables, will be out this year as well. Those are the two that are closest to publication right
Yeah.
now through SDP. I have really, over the last year or so, I would say, really, as SDP has found some more success financially and otherwise, as you grow, you have to put more money into it, right?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
also allowed me to some degree to step away from other things professionally and focus on this more, which I'm super grateful for. And so what it's meant is I've had more time and have put more effort into other series that I'm working on. And I've got, it might sound kind of crazy, but I've got 3 that I've got drafts for that I'm working on to get out there. Now, my goal has always been, from the very get-go, I had made the decision with Purgatory Academy. I was going to put it out there and I was going to query it to publish it traditionally. When I put it out there, I got one callback from one agent who had read the first 10 pages and wanted to read the first 50. And then, I was, even that I felt like was a victory. I was really grateful for that. She got back to me and she said, it's well written. I just don't think I don't love it enough that I feel like I would advocate for it well enough. And that's fair. Like Ryan was saying, like, you got to love it. And that's what you
Mhm.
would want your agent to feel like it about it too. And
Yeah.
so yeah, right? So, but I was grateful for the personalized message, the time that she took for that. Agents are so busy. So I was like, okay, I got everything I need, and I published it myself. And I went through the whole process. I had it all planned. And so Purgatory Academy, I'm publishing all through SDP with my next ones that I'm working on. Again, the plan is I'm going to query them, and if it doesn't work out, I'll publish them through SDP. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah.
So how
But
do you?
I think sorry.
No, you're right. Go, Ryan.
I was just going to say, I think we live in, like, I've learned so much. I'm not a writer myself, but I've learned so much about the author process and the publishing process just from doing this podcast and speaking to all, you amazing authors. And what I think is, right now is the best time to be an author because, 20 years ago, you only had trad publishing. That's the only route you had, other than, spending a crap load of money
Mm-hmm.
and, getting physical copies, which you might sell, just because of you might only be able to sell at in-person events. Whereas now, and we're by all means not sponsored, but Amazon have made it's such a great time to be an author and a reader because, I mean, I can speak to you. While I'm speaking to you, I can buy your book. And then when I finish speaking to you, I can read your book all within, a couple of hours. Like I remember back when you used to have to, okay, I've got to get in the car, go to a bookshop. They may not have what I want. You know what I mean? Like now is the best. I mean, I'm the reader out of me and Jamie. I read for 3 to 4 hours every night without fail. My TBR list is in almost 200. Um, and I've already read, I think, 20 books this year. And I love the fact that I can just buy a book. And if I want to read it tonight, I can start reading it tonight. I don't have to wait, for it to get delivered or anything like that. Or even if I wanted to get it delivered, it would be here tomorrow. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Amazon has done
Yeah.
such a lot for authors. And I think that's given you guys, as independent authors, the freedom to publish as much as you can and just makes it so much easier for us as readers to get our hands on it, because I haven't read a traditionally published book in about a year and a half. And that's all I
Wow.
used to read. I literally have only read indie books that I've either heard, we've either had on the podcast, or I have had one of our authors on the podcast recommend to me, read this book from another indie author. And I have not read a bad book since. It has opened my mind to so much more. And it's only because of where we are in the world at the moment, where indie authors are able to publish your book when you want, you're able to market how you want, and you don't have to, like Jamie, as an example, you don't have to lose control of your work by going for a traditional publisher. You don't have to write the book and then give it to a publisher and they say, it's good, but we just want you to rewrite the whole first act. And, you can get it out there as it is, because, look, to me, in my opinion, it's never been a better time to be a reader. And, the fact that you guys can just publish things and, see a lot more of the profits and not have to wait. I think we had a guest on a while ago which went through a publisher, and the publisher had the book for a year and a half before it even was talked about being published. You could finish your book today, have it edited and ready to go, and you can hit upload and it's available, I'm assuming within a day.
Yeah. I've heard you guys share about that. Ryan, you in particular share about that on other episodes. And I think I love that perspective. I love that you share like that. I think that is, I do. I love that. I hope that's not something that you gripe about once you turn the camera off. No.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. No, I just think, I think a lot of authors don't necessarily keep that in mind. And I think that's so important to understand. Like, you have so much freedom. Yes, it's hard, but this was never something that was going to come easy. Writing is not, being a creative is not an easy thing. It's not a cheap thing. Like, it's something that comes with a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, and a lot of skills in a lot of different ways if you're going to be successful at it, and really focusing on the positives of, is Amazon perfect? No, but look at what they make, I can't say it better than the way Ryan said it, Is Ingram Spark perfect? No, but they enable us, they empower us to be able to do this on our own. And that is an awesome, awesome thing. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful because, it's also allowing me to help other authors who are just getting started, and that means a lot to me too. You guys had one of my authors actually from Dragon Dreams, Emma Elias, on here. A couple of years ago. She was on here, and Emma, I published her in Dragon Dreams, and now her YA book got picked up by an agent, and she's out there doing her thing. But I mean, I agree. I totally agree. There's so much good to be considered about the age we're living in when it comes to being a creative and getting your work out there. Yeah, there's trades off, but
of course.
It's still,
of course. There's always going to be bad things with the good, but I mean, the fact that I'd much rather have a TBR of almost 200 books than have nothing to read and have to read I mean, there are books that I do reread pretty much once a year because they're just favorites of mine. But I'd much rather have almost 200 books on my TBR because I know I will get through them than have, oh crap, now I'm going to have to go to the bookshop and try and find something. I'd much rather just have them there. And it's also the technology is good for people who don't have great memories like me, and I can literally buy the book while we're talking because otherwise I will forget what the book is called, or I'll forget it's good. That's why sometimes my screen goes off because I'm on my tablet buying the book. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting into the Purgatory Academy series. It sounds really really good.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Sold. Ding 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 ding.
Oh,
That's why
already.
that's why everyone comes on. Um, so, what's some advice that you could give to upcoming authors, or that you've something that you've learnt along the way in your wonderful writing career?
Yeah. I think it kind of goes back to the conversation we're just having with Ryan right now of I think it's important for creatives in general to just remember that I think we have a right to be creatives, but to
Mhm.
be financially successful with it, I still think that's a privilege.
Hmm.
And I think that that's something that we need to be mindful of. You know, just because you wrote a book or made a piece of art and it meant something to you, like you guys said, like it may not be a 5-star thing for you and you're not gonna finish it or you're not gonna
Yeah.
like it at all. You're not gonna find it interesting. Ryan might buy my book and get a page in and be like, nope, this isn't for me. And if you're a creative, like you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with that. And so to me, I think that's something that I always want, man, especially like on the publishing side of it, I always want to remind authors and writers and like, look, there's no guarantees here, but you wrote something beautiful and you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you enjoyed that process, you're passionate about that process, about what you've created. That's the beauty of it. Now, if you get paid for it and you get to the point where that's all you have to do, great. Then you're like in the what, 1% of the world.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
fantastic. But so that's one thing I would say. I'm going to cheat and give you two. Is that all right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, pile them on.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah.
Okay. Because I do think this one goes with it is just be gritty. Have grit. Have grit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jane Friedman, if you've heard of her at
I
all.
know the name. Definitely
Okay,
know the
so
name.
she's really big in the publishing industry and she works independently and she has a lot of information across all of her social media and her books, including a book called The Business of Writing. I
Mhm.
highly recommend it for anyone who's an author. But she has information in there. And it basically just, to me, what I feel like over the years I've learned is the authors who make it, kind of like financially or get in there are the ones who just don't stop.
Yeah.
They just grit it out. It's not even like the most talented, and she talks about this in her book, and she says it much more. She puts it better than I am right now, but she backs it up with statistics and stuff and some research that she shares from other organizations that have shared about that, and like the number of authors who make it to so many published books. So just being gritty about it and not giving up. There's always going to be plenty of excuses you can make for why you shouldn't be writing or working on your creativity. You can always come up with those. We all have full lives, we all have busy lives, and I don't mean to be insensitive when I say that because I know it's worse for some than others
Yeah.
for various reasons. But if if it means something to you, you'll make time for it. If you're passionate about it, you'll make time for it. If you love reading, you'll make 3 or 4 hours of the day for it. Like you will find time for that because
Yeah.
you'll sacrifice other things for it that you can. So
100%.
um,
100%.
yeah.
I used to, like, I'm a big gamer and I
Mhm.
used to stay up really, really late, to like 1, 2 in the morning just playing video games. And now I'm like, I say I go to bed at 7:30, but I still stay up to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, but I'm reading instead. I play my games in the morning and then I read. Like I have my set routine, and I find that ever since I've started doing that, I'm getting so much more enjoyment out of reading than I ever have. So yeah, you're right, 100%. If you love something, you'll make time for it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we've come to the time. Are you
Okay.
ready for the game?
For the game. Okay. All right.
All right, I'll bring up the graph because the game is called Story Pitch.
Okay.
We have a setting, a genre, a main character's profession, and a crazy addition. What you're going to do is you're going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of these categories. We're going to give you what they are on our graphs that are not available to you. And you're going to pitch us a story. It can be as in depth as you want or as simple as you want. We have had people act it out before, I'm just saying. But it's
Oh,
completely
man.
up to you.
Okay.
There's 2 rounds. The first round is the practice round, what we like to call. And then
Okay.
the legit round.
Okay.
So
All right.
hit us up with 4 numbers between 1 and 12.
All right. So between 1 and 12 for all 4 of these categories.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Am I just rapid fire all 4?
Rapid fire, and you can technically go 1 1 1 1 1 or 2 2 2 2. Like that's an option.
Okay. I'm just gonna be silly here and go with the title of my book, Class of 666. I'm just gonna go 6666.
Oh, an
Oh my
extra
God.
6.
Okay.
All
The
right,
next,
let's.
well, there's 4 of them, so I had to do another 6.
All right, okay. So your setting, checking the graph, is a small country town.
A small country town. Okay.
And your genre is comedy.
Okay.
Your main
All right.
character is a historian.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Your crazy addition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story, even if it's just for 5 seconds, is the entire
Okay.
cast of Hamilton the musical.
So you've
All
got
right.
you've got a
Okay, let me see if
comedy.
I get that. I've
Yeah.
got a comedy in a small town.
Yep.
I have to have Hamilton in it, and the main character is a professor.
Or a historian. I'll
A
allow. I
historian,
can.
excuse me.
Yeah.
He's a historian. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, man. All right, and I'm pitching a story to you
Yeah.
about this. Okay, here we go. All right.
Picture it as like someone someone sends you a submission for a story for your anthology, and you're on the
Yeah.
other. Now you're on the other end.
Yeah, now I'm on the other end here. Okay. All right. All right. So we are in Astoria, Oregon, on the west coast of the United States. It's a cloudy day, and our historian, Dr. Fairweather, is on the beach writing about a biography about Hamilton. And as he sits there on the beach, a helicopter comes and comes down and lands in front of him. He has a number of choice words for them. I'm going to bleep them all out because we don't, this in case children listen to this at all, okay? And out of it steps, oh man, what's his name from Hamilton, the main guy?
Alexander. Oh,
Lin
Lin-Manuel.
Manuel dressed as Alexander. He goes, "Sir, I have some very important notes I'd like to share with you for your story." Okay. So this is the pitch I have here. This is there you go. It's Hamilton being pitched to a historian from Astoria and Oregon. There you go.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
see it.
I don't know.
It works. It works.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I feel like the Hamilton part alone would bring people in, not because of
Yeah.
anything I did,
Yeah.
but just because it's Hamilton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have the original actor who did King George though, because I want his spittle everywhere. That's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That was the practice round?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. And
All right.
and Ryan will
Eye of the
plead.
tiger.
Ryan will plead with you. I'm going to say this to not pick the same numbers. I'm just saying on the
Oh,
next one.
Yeah, please.
So
Don't know. Okay. All right. All right.
we can
Okay.
make it fair. You can have 1 6 in there.
No, how about okay, we'll go heavenly this time and we'll go 7777. How about that?
Okay.
All right, we'll see what we've got there.
Okay.
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 Well, it is very heavenly because your setting is a moon base.
Oh, okay. Moon base. All right, sci-fi, got it.
Yeah, and your genre is dark comedy.
That's dark comedy. Your main character is a sommelier or a wine taster, as they're known.
And your crazy edition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story, even for 5 seconds, is a glee club.
A glee club, like the singing club, like
Yeah,
the old
like-
show, like Glee.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
On a
all
moon
right.
base. On a moon base.
On a moon base, and it's a dark comedy. Man, I don't know if I could do dark comedy. Okay, dark comedy. All right. So my story pitch here. Let me think about this for a second. All right. I'm pitching to you the dark comedy version of Andy Weir's Artemis. We are setting up our own restaurant here, and on the stage we will have high school glee singers, while your own personal wine taster comes along to give you flights of wine. The caveat here is he will be tap dancing as he speaks with you. He comes around to your table. Our main characters are, in fact, Jamie and Ryan sitting there as he tap dances for you and sings to you with the glee doing chorus in the background. He suddenly steps on one of your feet and, oh, I'm so sorry, Ryan, you've lost a big toe. I'm not sure why that's funny. I'm so sorry, Ryan.
Oh, no. You know why it's funny? I'll show you exactly why it's funny.
You're not about to pick up. You're not going to show me a toe. No.
It is dark comedy, mate.
It's dark comedy. Oh, Ryan,
I
no.
lost a leg like 4 years ago. So that's funny.
Well,
I like it. I laugh.
you
Okay.
inadvertently nailed the dark comedy.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
If you've showed that in an episode, I have not seen that one. Obviously. So insensitive. Oh, man.
No. It's totally fine.
It's actually funny.
That's the first appearance of my prosthetic leg on a podcast. But it's funny. When I go out, sometimes little kids, you know how they're innocent and they're just like,
Right.
"What happened to your leg?" And I say, "Oh, I got eaten by a shark or a crocodile." Like, I've got no, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was so ironic that I actually have lost a big toe and all the rest of them on one leg. Yeah, I thought that was
Well, at
funny.
least-
Very, very good.
At least I know where the story's going then. It won't just be the big toe. I'm so sorry.
Totally fine.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
That's fine.
That was macabre. Okay. All right. There you go. I don't think that's getting published, though. I don't think it's getting published.
I don't know. It might get published in Australia.
I'd publish it.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think, okay,
I
what
would,
mythological creature could I have a story for that I could write that for one of my own MoMA volumes, and then we'll get it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will say before we let you go, stay after we've hit record and you can offer some stuff for the story pitch game.
Okay.
Because we are almost up to what do you call it? We're almost up to our 4th graph, which is what I'm aiming for.
Okay.
Because every now and then we do what do you call it? We do a story pitch episode with four different authors, and they're hilarious. So
Okay.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
I've seen
aiming
those,
for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
what I'm aiming for. But
Okay. Cool.
anyway, thank you for joining us. This has been such a blast. Another
thank you,
long
guys.
episode.
Sorry about that.
No, it's what
I'm
we
so
do.
grateful.
It's what we do.
Super, super grateful. Even if you had to lose a leg over it, Ryan, I really appreciate you taking the time. Twice, I mean, I guess now. Yeah.
Awesome. What we'll get you to do is plug yourself. Where can people stay up to date with what you're doing? Anything you want to share with our audience? The floor is yours.
Yeah. So obviously, take a look at my books. Head to the website. It is dracoamethystus.com. All of my social media is there. I am primarily on Instagram though. Like I said, I've got two books coming out, one of my own and then one from the anthology. If you are interested in, if you are an author or a writer and you're interested in publishing with us, Fae Fables is closed, but I actually have a fourth that I may get in at the end of the year called Santa Saga. And
Oh, no. Yeah.
it is a Christmas based one, but it is very broad. So if you have something like on anything like Icelandic, for example, on the Christmas cat
Yeah.
or Krampus or anything around the solstice, like it doesn't, so don't feel like it has to be like Christmas based or anything like that. I'm happy to take anything for those as well, both poetry and short fiction. So, and all of the information for submissions can be found on the website as well as the Instagram. So, and finally, if you haven't watched the podcast, watch the podcast because they need to be plugged as well. They do a great job for indie authors out there. So shout out to you guys. Yeah, and all your wonderful work. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
And just quickly back on that, if you get that anthology out, the Christmas one, we last year we did a month of Christmas themed or guests, so we'll 100% get you on if you want to, if you
That'd
want
be
to come
great.
back on for that. Even some of the authors involved, we'd love to host
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah. Oh man, any of them would be so stoked about that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
and we also do a Christmas themed story pitch every year, so
Mhm.
strap in for that. Strap in
Okay.
for that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, guys. All Draco's links will be down in the show notes. Please check that out. If you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. Please join our Discord. We've got a very fast-growing community over there. We're primarily booking all our multi-author episodes in there because it's just so much easier. So reach out. We'll give you the link for that. And check out our sponsor, Rebecca Kearsells. Sadly, Martin Kearns is no longer with us because he had to shift funds around, but he's been such a great supporter of the show. Please still check out his books. He's a brilliant urban fantasy and horror writer. Check out our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. And until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.